Good morning. Most of you would have heard about a tennis player called Nick Kyrgios. Nick Kyrgios was a very talented player. He just retired in 2023. He had a powerful service. He could play unique shots which would dazzle the opponent. He, for example, could actually put shots between his legs. And he was very agile and athletic. Yet, he never won a Grand Slam. Compare him with somebody like Novak Djokovic, or for that matter, Rafael Nadal. Rafael Nadal, 22 Grand Slams. And all of this was a result of his consistent performance, which was driven by his strong passion and his strong discipline in his own life and the way he played the game and the way he strategized about the game. His consistency was reflected not only in his performance, but also in his behavior. I don't know whether you have observed this. He used to keep his water bottles in a particular sequence always at the tennis court. And it was almost like second nature to him. That is what we call as consistency. This applies to all our businesses, where consistent performance and consistent outcome for our customers is super important. Consider, for example, when we ourselves buy things. We all use Amazon, for example. What do? You first decide that I must buy a product that meets my perception about the product and the way it is positioned. You then expect that the product is delivered as promised by Amazon. You expect that when you open the box, it will not have any defects and it will work satisfactorily. And you expect that the product will perform for a long time without trouble. Sometimes when the product does give you a trouble, you expect that you would get a very good response from your customer, from your supplier. Now, this applies to all our businesses, and these principles are enshrined in Secure's own business about on-time delivery, about positioning our products correctly, about providing value to our customers through applications, about defects in line, or how we develop products so that they can be warranted for the lifetime. I would still like to point out one important fact which I feel needs a little bit more attention, which is the fact that when there is a problem, the speed at which we respond to the customer. That is, to my mind, a very important parameter by which customer success is achieved finally. So these are the important parameters on which we should work in order to keep our quality consistent and our customer satisfaction going forward. Now, how do we achieve this level of performance that we desire? There are only two things that we need to really worry about. First of all, define a method, a process, which will achieve the objective of that process. Every process is a goal, and that intended goal must be delivered time and again, time and again. And this is the second part, which is about consistency by which we follow the method, so that we get that success repetitively. Now, this applies to every walk of life, every function in the organization, and every delivery that we give to an external customer or an internal customer. Now, the question arises that does that mean that if we followed a process, there will be no problems? Well, that's not true. You do sometimes get problems, but it is important as to how we handle when we are faced with such problems. As I said earlier, one is how quickly we respond to them, and second is how methodically and systematically we approach to solve that problem. So take, for example, if you had a problem, then the most important thing is for us to analyze the variables that impact the outcome, which is the problem. Then carry out a multivary to find out which parameter or which factor or which are the top few factors which impacts that outcome most significantly, and then remove the variability that causes the problem. Now, this may sound complicated to some people, but take this applied to your everyday life. Take, for example, if I am faced with a problem like not able to reach the office on time every day, I can carry out a simple multivary as to, what time do I wake up, how much time it takes me to do the morning chores, how much time does it take me to complete the morning yoga or exercise or whatever I do, how much time it takes me to have the breakfast or tea, and how much time to travel to the office. And note the variabilities and find the few factors which have the maximum variability that impacts the outcome. And in this way, in our everyday life, we can solve and remove those variabilities. Now, certain factors may not be controllable fully by us. In that case, we must accommodate for such variability in other processes. For example, if traffic is something which is not in our control in the travel process, then we must accommodate that by waking up a bit earlier. So, as you can see, we can achieve consistency in every walk of life and solve problems in every walk of life by following these simple principles of analyzing variabilities and being consistent in our approach in following the method and the discipline. And it is this discipline that is super important in our lives, and we can use that every day. Now, one might ask, what has caused Virat Kohli not to perform nowadays? Well, I will leave it to you to go and analyze and carry out a multivary of his past history and find out which factor is actually causing him not to perform at a certain time. To summarize, at the end, I'll once again repeat, adopt discipline in everyday life. Yes, this is the quality week, but let this not be something we talk about in a week, but something that becomes part of our life every day, so that it is second nature to us. If we did it consistently every time, consistency becomes second nature. Thank you.